Good day to all, welcome to Extreme Recap. The group of champions should beat 3 hazardous difficulties to vanquish the evil spirit destroyer weapon. Today, we will recap the film. The first myth takes place in 2021 and depicts the great wars fought by humans. A heavenly warrior tried everything to put an end to the chaos, but his own allies betrayed him and killed him. Her sister swore vengeance by subjugating individuals, persuading different divine beings to step into the center of this confusion. Expert Z shows up at the conflict, joined by his follower, Erling. Additionally, plans to destroy the goddess-created celestial shield intended to enslave humans. They are attacked by numerous flying blades in the thick fog, forcing Erling to dodge, revealing Young as the supreme godly leader. The expert attempts to dissuade a lady about the bedlam. However, she declares that everyone must make a soul-based payment for her brother's demise. Erling sees the astrolabe that controls the fog barrier around the 3 of them and rushes to attack the goddess as she reveals it. Yet, his powers are no counterpart for her. Because the supreme leader's blades, quickly overwhelm him and cause him to miss every attack. Who overcomes him? With little effort. Ziya figures out how to meddle and push the lady back briefly, advising his follower to get through the boundary, as he will dial the divinity back by confronting her eye-to-eye. Erling shoots directly at the magic as he charges the massive astrolabe. The young man conjures a lot of fireballs and fires them at the warrior, causing him to fall to the ground. Erling is quickly enveloped by the fire waves. Furthermore, similar to a whirlpool of energy, cause a strong blast. The warrior wakes up in an unidentified room a short while later. When he leaves, he finds that he is in a village and concludes that the locals probably saved him. Out of nowhere, the sky starts to obscure and a lady dressed completely in white steps into the group amidst a custom where a few men wearing dark robes and veils approach her here. The critical point is that this young lady is called Moon, and her spirit is requested as a penance by the gods who oppressed individuals. However, her brother Len will prevent her from entering the chariot. Rapidly pulls her along, declining to make additional penances for the benefit of the gods. He engages the warriors of darkness in combat, but the adversaries begin to summon their energies simultaneously. Morphing into a monstrous dragon and unleashing a ferocious roar at the villagers, compel them to flee the conflict for their lives. In distress, the titanic animal ruthlessly goes after individuals, unleashing devastation by throwing them up high. Amid the disorder, Moon runs to try to help a young girl who is lying on the ground when she sees her, but the creature approaches menacingly and kills her. Erling throws the creature backwards with incredible force after landing a devastating punch to the face. He cuts it in the chest, finishing the furious fight for good. The village leader tells the young woman that it is premature to celebrate because the goddess will undoubtedly seek vengeance against the people who rejected the sacrifice. The young woman rushes to express her gratitude to the warrior who saved her. However, the elder immediately recognizes the young man's necklace's symbol as that of the gods, passing on him to accept that Erling is a divinity shipped off help all individuals. This is immediately refuted by Erling, who asserts that his body is mortal, notwithstanding having divine family, and that he is just a diving being without the ability to totally turn into a god. By the by, the senior requests that Erling help the town, uncovering the picture of the goddess who subjugates his kin. The warrior also recognizes the figure immediately as the same foe he once faced in the sky. Erling swears to the villagers that he will put an end to this evil goddess rule. But prior to this, he must acquire the legendary divine exterminator weapon, which can be found in the worship tower so that he might have a chance against his opponent. Moon has also offered to go with him on this journey because she can see the demons in their true form and wants to show her gratitude to Erling right away for saving her life. They headed for the tower. The young woman also tries to learn more about the warrior next to her as they move through the forest. Erling, however, maintains his solitary warrior posture and refuses to speak. At the point when the young lady figured Erling wouldn't respond to her, the fighter intrudes on her and approaches her in a way deserving of a heartfelt show scene. Moon felt very inquisitive and envisioned she would get a kiss. However, Erling holds her back and fires his weapon at a tree, trapping her spear in the process. The follower who was following them, who was simply laying the young lady, is angry with her sibling for following them along these lines. However, he maintains that he met them accidentally. Despite the fact that this assertion quickly turns out to be a lie because Lang is completely intoxicated and out of control following a lengthy journey that involved hours of walking. Night at long last falls and the gathering shows up at an eatery in an isolated area. Everyone sees the establishment as suspicious. They enter the structure and see a few group eating in the room. The group decides to sit down at a table, but then they notice a woman who appears to be looking at them from the second floor. She also waves at the men to get their attention. The perplexing lady approaches Erling and some way or another attempts to win his trust by pouring him a beverage. What's more, Moon is obviously not in any way, shape or form satisfied about this. Erlang, however, respectfully declines the offer with caution. He quickly grabs the woman's arm because he is aware that he is being enticed into a trap. Everyone is warned by the warrior that most likely everything in that room is a jutsu of illusion. The crazy man is even picking up the chicken thigh as the customers continue to perform the same actions as if they were stuck in an endless loop. Moon concentrates her efforts as a result. To see past the lady and understand that she has no mouth, becoming stunned and frantic as they understand she is an evil presence, the lady promptly escapes to the subsequent floor, and the cafe gets back to its actual type of an old sanctuary loaded up with explorers' skeletons. Uncovering a feeling of a composing priest who irately notes on his sheets. Erling is attacked by the demon, who uses its evil powers to begin attacking him. She flies into the spirit, however, and easily avoids the attacks. Planks for monks with no other option. The woman blocks the warrior as he throws his spear, which hits the ceiling. The demon starts using all of his energy to charge. His writing was carried on by raising the spirit plates into the air, creating an arsenal of thorns and hurling them like projectiles in a whirlwind. Driving Erling to frantically get as far away as possible. He continued to continuously dodge the flying thorns as she continued to throw her blades. However, the champion at last recovers his weapon from the subsequent floor and plans to go after Indeed. Moon can also observe something odd in the woman's hairpin at this point, since one of the ideogram's letters was missing, and he realizes that this must be the secret that ends up defeating the demonic woman. After that, Lang joins the fight and tries to assist his teammate. In any case, the abhorrent power effectively takes the fighter out, giving Moon the opportunity she expected to get the clasp off the evil presence lady's head. Erling rushes in just in time to use his aura to block the projectiles as the demon attacks the girl back. Moon was able to take the clamp and write the word's final word after all the thorns bounced off his energy shield. The team notices that the writer's spirit vanished simultaneously after breaking the curse and stopping all of her opponent's attacks. Furthermore, the evil presence has its mouth back to its face again here. We comprehend through her that the lady was brought by the works of that productive soul. He ended up saying the wrong things because all he wanted to know was how to become a god through his passion. This led to his own demise and made him a completely evil and demonic spirit. Moon receives a lotus lantern from the demon, and afterward breaks into an exchange wizardry, placing her quality into the light, encouraging that she will lead them toward the charm tower. They continued their journey through the forest the following morning until they reached a large valley, where they could see the tower on the horizon. They enter the tremendous sanctuary and see a little evil spirit sitting on the opposite side of the room, who lets them know that they will play a tomfoolery game so they can continue on toward the following room. The man snaps his fingers, and bamboos start to grow from the beginning, the spot into a backwoods of bamboos with a thick haze, which puts everybody on alert. The evil spirit makes sense of that they should draw their blades still, or they will wind up very much like the numerous sculptures around them, forever enslaved. He then moves quickly toward them to touch them, causing them to flee. Lang sprints frantically in an effort to persuade the corpulent man to follow him and escape the group. The little evil presence shows strange speed, leaving a path like an alcohol. However, Erling is able to save his companion in time by striking the adversary with his spear and driving him away. They intend to deceive the devil, and to do as such, Lang gets the bamboo with his whip and swings it toward the foe, however neglects to snatch the sword. The demigod has the opportunity to hang his opponent upside down and bind him by the feet as a means of quickly retrieving his sword. Finishing the main game, the gateway opens behind the group, giving them the likelihood to go to a higher level. However, the adversary attacks the warriors after breaking free of the ropes. This force tries to hold on to the demon to stop it from moving, but it unfortunately ends up turning into stone. Pretty much nothing remained to be finished. Moon was crushed to lose her sibling, however they expected to continue on. By using the portal, they get to the next room. Erling guarantees Moon that they can save his sibling on the off chance that they can track down the goddess. However, the second challenge was upon us. Numerous crystals begin to form everywhere as a vast darkness begins to spread throughout the area, revealing a woman's identity as the mirror demon. This time, they have to draw a picture of her, claiming that if they draw her correctly, they will be able to move on to the next room without any problems. Realizing that there must be a trap in this moon, she decides to use her powers, uses his active eye power to look at the woman, and she quickly tells Erling the truth. The woman soon pulls the drawing from their hands and realizes that they are drawing themselves. They begin to sketch the drawings on the paper. The demigod explains that the demons will have to draw their own reflections because their true form is a mirror. Erling takes the girl's hand because the woman is furious because they can see through her illusions and have no choice but to open the passageway to the next challenge. As the temple begins to fall apart, the two of them run for the exit. Moon, on the other hand, is stuck in the previous dimension next to the shattered mirrors because she is unable to pass through the portal in time. The girl tells the warrior to let her go and keep going so he can get the weapon and save everyone who is dying for the mission. The warrior tries desperately to pull her inside. With no other decision, Moon completely vanishes behind Erlang as he forces himself to look away and let go of his companion. The time had come for the third obstacle. His rival, an unremarkable hero, is perched on a privileged position and tells the demigod that he must win the battle to acquire the god-slaying slayer, realizing that the man only possesses a human body. The conflict evil spirit permits him to involve any of the unbelievable weapons in the sanctuary to give him a benefit in this extremely out-of-line battle. The diving being disposes of his weapon and picks Nazis, stick trying to burn the rival with the flares of the end. However, the warrior is thrown backwards after the war demon successfully dodges the attack. This time, Erling throws a lightning bolt at the adversary after grabbing what appears to be a Wukong staff. The opponent, on the other hand, is able to resist the electric charge and effortlessly throws the warrior to the ground. Understanding that he is running out of choices, the diving being starts to shoot every one of the weapons he controls with his hands. Nonetheless, the devil obliterates them all with a solitary development and again discards Erlang easily. The faceless monster starts to make fun of the warrior for trying to become divine and relying on the weapons, powers, and abilities of other warriors, advising him to give up completely and accept his defeat. But Erling doesn't let his friends die in vain. He finally starts to accept who he is, uses his own weapon, and gets all the courage he can to fight. He makes his way toward the demon and strikes it in the body with a single blow, transforming it into a spectral energy that combines with his weapon to take on a new form similar to a RPG curse. Presently, it is uncovered that this was the genuine destroyer of the divine beings. It wasn't really necessary to focus on an actual weapon, however, about the mental fortitude of the champion to let the genuine power out of inside and not fear end. At that point, Moon has survived the destruction of the last, Erlang realizes when he hears a voice calling to him. Challenge, and they get close to home and embrace each other as they naturally suspected they could at no point ever see each other in the future. Additionally, Lying is back. He made it through and obtained a new one. Substantially more beautiful battling blade. The young lady demonstrates to have procured the force of the reflection evil spirit, currently having the option to magically transport any place she needs. In other words, as the three warriors completed the tasks, each challenge taught them a new skill. Notwithstanding, before they can praise, the pinnacle starts to fall and the gathering is compelled to promptly get away from the site before it becomes dead rubble. When they figure out how to get out, the gathering understands that the detestable goddess is attempting to claim every one of the otherworldly weapons in the spot while eating up the whole pinnacle. She then disappears through a portal into the sky, expressing her gratitude to the warriors for facilitating her access to the tower and providing her with the opportunity to use all of the weapon's powers. This is when Moon utilizes her new capacities, and the gathering can follow the goddess into another reality, and they start to go after the abhorrent god utilizing their recently obtained powers. However, Erling is moved back effectively by the lady's atmosphere. She slams Lang's face against a wall after grabbing it. The demigod tries to make a second attack, but the goddess's flying blade is clearly too strong for them. The team decides to combine their powers to defeat the entity after quickly recovering. Combining the spear attack with the transport portals gives them the chance to defeat the goddess and lets them target areas of the demon that are less protected. However, it wouldn't be that simple. She has rare strength, and she can break free and hit Erling in the chest, sending him flying for miles and seriously hurt. Turning out to be practically crippled, the goddess attempts to end the fight by conjuring a huge blade against the diving being. However, Moon is able to stop the attack by conjuring portals that contain the sword in the heavens and using all of her strength to protect her friend. Regardless of how diligently she attempts the evil presences, emanation as areas of strength for excessively winds up getting through the safeguard and lethally hitting Moon. She is held by Erling as she falls and moons. In order to exact revenge, Brother runs toward the evil goddess, going after the lady energetically. Their energies impact, and the goddess keeps on tossing weapons at Lang constant, figuring out how to overwhelm him and pushing a few mystical swords through his body, taking out the champion immediately. In the demigod's arms, Moon is also dying slowly and says she wants him to admit if he has ever loved her. Erling gives her a hand and tells her that he has always loved her, even before they met. Furthermore, Moon leaves in harmony, realizing that she was adored when throughout everyday life, Moon's body gradually disintegrates in the breeze, causing Erling to feel a horrendous aggravation in his heart. At this unexpected misfortune, in the wake of losing the individual he cherished, the mythical being at last understands that to be a divine being is to utilize all the influence he has to safeguard the people who are significant in his life. Erling starts to change into a genuine god. Furthermore, with this, a flaring third eye opens on his brow, giving him enormous power, able to use the heavens to summon his new legendary weapon. By hurling a number of her weapons, the evil goddess begins her assault on the warrior. However, in accordance with his higher instincts, Erling avoids them all like Goku. The substance attempts to invoke every one of its powers and dispatches a hurricane of sharp edges against the god. Erling, on the other hand, survives the assault and gets closer and closer to the woman. He hurls the spear into the ground after charging his troops, triggering a significant shock wave that begins to splinter the battleground as a whole and destroys the astrolabe that had been enslaving humans. Erling flies toward the dragon orb and takes the magic item so that no one else can use it for evil and that he can guard it forever as the temple crumbles around him. He falls into the debris murkiness, and different goddesses show up too, and structure a triplet of rivals who start to meet up and change into one strong element. Erling looks at the adversary squarely in the eye and moves straightforwardly toward the Goliath and follows by the arm. The huge palm of the Colossus tries to crush the warrior in order to get at the head of the massive creature. However, Erling is avoiding the counterattacks by firing a laser from his third eye, which shatters most of the statue and sends his spears straight into the bizarre monster's chest. The enormous creature breaks up and falls to the ground, releasing the goddesses. Erlang completes the battle with a strong, unbelievable assault. Nonetheless, his assault is obstructed by an outside force that repulses his weapon. Then the expert of the goddesses shows up, who has shown up to intrude on the contention, rebuffing his devotees, sending them to one more aspect where they will remain until they know about the errors they have made. The older man expresses gratitude to the deity for putting an end to the chaos, but he also warns him that from now on, he is responsible for the well-being of mortals. He has, after all, become a god. After some time, Erlang goes to the moon's town and placed a charm on the lotus lamp, reminiscing about the girl he loved so much and promising to locate her in a future life where they could live together again. Additionally, the warrior Erling traveled this route. So, turn on notifications, please subscribe for more videos like this, and like the channel to support it. Thank you very much for watching.